Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division video. What I have you guys today is a video very similar to one I made a few months ago. If you guys haven't seen that video, pretty much I talked about a really underrated weapon in PvP. A ton of people said they agree with that video and with my pick in that video, so I decided to make another one and pretty much talk about another underrated weapon no one really uses. I tested this out yesterday. I was playing Last Stand for about 5-6 hours. And I decided to test out the theory that no one really uses this weapon. 10 games back to back to back to back, I went into Last Stand, no one was using this weapon. So I decided to make a video on it because whenever I was using it, I was dropping numbers. Now I do understand sometimes it really matters more about the build you have, not really the weapon, but the weapon is very important still. Don't get me wrong, it also depends on the player you are and also on the lobbies you get into. But all the 10 matches I was in Last Stand, and I was just keeping a close eye to see, if someone's using a PP19, I was trying to look at my teammate, and I was trying to see what weapon killed me whenever I died. But like I said, 10 out of the 10 matches I was keeping a close eye on, no one was using this weapon. So the weapon I'm talking about is the PP19. Now the PP19 is a submachine gun. A lot of people don't really like this because for some reason they just don't think it hits hard enough. It doesn't do really that much damage as the MP5, the AUG, the MP7 would. And the rate of fire is pretty slow on it as well. The rate of fire is only 700 rounds per minute, which is very slow. Obviously if you put on a rate of fire magazine, it's going to increase. But overall, it's still a slow firing submachine gun. The one thing I like using this weapon the most with is with a D3 FNC build. You guys know with that build you're allowed to use a submachine gun and a shield at the same time. And whenever you're using the PP19 and you have a magazine that's over 100% magazine size increase, you have around 100 bullets to kill someone down, and you don't really have to reload between shooting someone, which is really good because most of the time whenever I die in Last Stand or even in the Dark Zone, 99% of the times I'm reloading. And yes, I understand you can make a build with, quick reloading and stuff, but the PP19, since it does have this much ammo, you don't have to reload it quite often, which is really nice. Now, besides the slow rate of fire on the PP19, a lot of people don't like this weapon because of the damage and the damage output you do with it. I'm going to tell you guys something. I was trying to test out between the AUG and the PP19, and I was only doing between 2000 and 1000 less damage with the PP19 than if I was using the AUG or the MP5. Now I do understand, once again, it really depends on the firearms you have and what rolls you get on that weapon. But the PP19, since you get pretty much the double amount of bullets than you would get with the AUG or the MP7 or the MP5, and you only lose 1500 damage per bullet, which in my opinion is a win-win situation because yes, you are doing a little bit less damage, but you have so much more bullets, you have so much more room in order to spray the enemy, or just, if you're missing your shots, you still have a good chance of killing them because like I said, the person might have to reload 2 or 3 times in that gunfight. The one thing I would recommend on this weapon for the talents is having responsive and having competent. With competent and responsive, you can have whatever third talent you wish, but I really like responsive and competent on this gun because the damage increase is really nicely, and like I said, most of the times you're going to be in the person's face, so having responsive is really nice. Now, if you guys didn't hear, in patch 1.6.1, hip firing is getting nerfed, and pretty much with a controller you're not going to be getting aim assist with hip firing. And in my mind, I feel like a lot of players are not going to be hip firing that much since you're not going to be connecting that much bullets since the aim assist is off. But with the PP19, you can still play your playstyle of just going in the person's face and hip firing them since you have double the bullets of any submachine gun in the game. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys have used the PP19 in Last Stand or the Dark Zone. Like I said, I went in 10 matches back to back, and no one on my team or the other team was using a PP19, so that's why I decided to make a video on it, because like I said, I've been using it for quite some time now, and I've been dropping players. I really like it, especially with like a Predmark build or a high-end build or a D3 FNC build. This weapon really comes alive. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I reply to all my comments, but once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.